So in this recording, I'm going to kind of touch on the attitude that I think a lot of people have towards God in general and why so many people are falling away from the faith. Well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people are falling away from the faith, but I actually try to get an idea of like the mindset of a lot of people who defect and start, believing in other things. And, it's kind of like they have like this spiritual motivation to want to do it. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. So being a Christian is in a lot of ways a selfless act. You decide that you're gonna put your God above yourself, in essence. So most of the Bible is geared towards selflessness, and God is expecting that on some level from us towards Him. And I think that a lot of people have problems with this selflessness part. Like they have their ideas about what they want and how things should be, and their ideas supersede whatever God's talking about. And they feel like they're right for feeling that way. So in their mind, it should be that way because that's how they see it. And they're going to say, well, if God is not on board, then I'm against Him. So I think the overall mindset is that we should just be able to do what we want and live life by our own terms, not God's. And I think that's where a lot of the friction comes from. So that's how it was. It's not exactly how it was in the Garden of Eden. We did want to self-determine in the Garden of Eden, which is why we broke the covenant and ate from the forbidden fruit. But when you think about like the similarities between that and just atheism in general, or the people who defect from Christianity and start believing other religions that are less restrictive, you kind of see like there's parallels. So let me go into that a little bit. So it's just like if God has a commandment saying that you cannot marry if you're a homosexual, and homosexuals would be like, I'm just not going to be a Christian, or I'm going to be against this God who's telling me that I can't do that because that's what I want to do. And I don't agree with any of that. Like I don't agree that we should, not be able to, sleep with the people we want to or marry the people that we love or whatever. So they have their attitude about that. And you can really make that case for pretty much even heterosexual people, because we're not allowed to fornicate. So unless we get married, we shouldn't be having sex at all. But they're not going to, focus on that. They're simply going to say that that because we're heterosexual and we like women, we have this better deal. Think about this for a second. So, like in their mind, it makes sense for them to, be against God because He's not letting them, have sex with men or whatever. They want to do that, and they're not really looking at the Christian community and thinking the Christian community is also disadvantaged by rules, these restrictions that God has placed on us. So, if you're not married and you're a Christian, you don't have sex at all. Never mind, hetero, homo, whatever. You don't have sex if you're a Christian because that's fornicating. So we're not having sex unless we get married. And then we have sex in order to procreate. And we accept that. We accept that. We're not saying, I'm going to defect because I like sex. Who doesn't like sex? And I'm going to defect. See, that's not our attitude. So we're not fighting God on this. We accept it, right? And we have the people who are like, I will not worship a God that doesn't allow me to have homosexual sex. So they feel like they should just be allowed to do that. And there are Christians, like I'm unmarried, who do not have sex at all because they never get married. Well, if you're a Christian, you're not supposed to. We accept that. I'm not going to say, you know what? I want to have sex. So I'm going to go against God and reject Him because I want to do that. But, the homosexuals are doing that. So the point is that everybody makes sacrifices including the Christians. Heavy sacrifices. So that's part of the deal. And it's not burdensome. Like, I don't go through life like these people who are rejecting God thinking how burdensome it is that I can't go out and sleep with a bunch of women. I'm not even thinking that, but they're thinking that and they're using that. So there are rules, and it's not up for debate. God is not doesn't give in to our demands because he's God. He knows what's best. He has his reasons. He doesn't give in to our demands. We're supposed to give in to his. So they have completely reversed it. And in the end, what they're doing is they're trying to take the power away from God and give it to themselves. So what might seem like some sort of righteousness on their end because they're standing up for their greater good is really them taking the power away from God, giving it to themselves, and they will decide who is supposed to be persecuted or get the better deal and who's supposed to get thrown under the bus. So it's just like how you notice the same people, a lot of the same types of people. I don't want to call any particular group out, but you notice how there's the same type of people who are talking about how unjust God is because he's persecuting them, who are out there persecuting Christians, and everybody is completely okay with that. It's like gang stalking. So the people out here do not care about my quality of life, how happy I am, whether this is right or wrong. They don't care. And the world is reinforcing that idea. It's just like how they could be as terrible as they want to us. And when it's us saying that there are rules and you will be judged, you see what I'm saying here? Like, then they are the victims. So no matter how bad they are, like, so many of these people are criminals and they're doing all these terrible things, and they are the ones getting the pity. And you notice how I don't get pity? And I'm not doing anything to anybody. And we have a whole entire system that is basically saying that when you are a career criminal and you are out doing every horrible thing imaginable, you are the victim because X happened, Y happened, or Z happened to you at some point in your life. And it's almost like we're saying we should pity you. And we will have targeted people who have done nothing wrong, bothered nobody, and these will be the people who will have it worse than these people who are complaining and getting pity. Every day of our lives have it worse. And the world is saying that there should be no pity towards us at all. Nobody should feel bad. Nobody should give us anything. Nobody should even care. Nobody should even care, which is why nobody out here cares. Everybody knows. See, they are choosing the people who are going to get persecuted. It's not about people not getting persecuted. It's about which group. So the bad guys persecute us. And this in the Bible, it says that people will reward good for evil and evil for good. That's why the bad guys are getting all this luxury. I would see drug addicts. I don't want to call a particular group out, but I'm just going to use this as an example. It'll be like a drug addict, and this person is literally stealing and doing all this bad stuff. This person has money for drugs. He has money for whatever he wants. Like, he's eating out every single day. He has a car. He has all of this stuff, and he's a drug addict. He gets fired from his job. He gets supported. The idea that you would take this person and say this person is far more of a victim than the targeted community. Like, I get bullied, harassed, and terrorized every day while poor. All these disadvantages, and we're basically what they're saying is that it doesn't matter because we're Christians or we don't have a popular belief or something, a popular belief system or whatever. Who knows what they're saying? Who knows what they're saying? And to make that even funnier, the Muslims who believe basically what we believe, except they're even more restrictive than we are, will get a complete pass. A complete pass. You should see how well the Muslims out here do. Then you're wondering, oh, why am I getting it, right? Everything about the world is so deceptive. That's why I would say, I don't care. This is not a vote or a public forum or whatever where you can just, say what you say and you get some sort of vote, like on Reddit. Like, I can up or down vote, and whoever gets the more votes wins, and that's how it is. God doesn't have a democracy. God is not a democracy. God is sovereign. He says how it's supposed to be. That's it. And we're not going to agree on anything as a species. I think I mentioned that in another recording. We don't agree on anything. Whatever we're saying that, okay, if you're a criminal and you join a gang and you have more of a voice than the person like myself, who's going to disagree with you on everything, disagree about what's right and wrong, disagree on everything. So as a species, we're always going to disagree with each other, and it wouldn't matter. Like there would be debate on everything. There's debate on everything, even gay marriage. There are going to be people who just don't agree with that at all. So we're not going to agree on that. So regardless of what you think, we can't decide on anything and be 100% on that. And so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't even make sense for people to take it as seriously as they do. That's why God would come in and say, this is the way it is, and we're going to just leave it there. And I just don't understand people. I mean, I just don't understand people, like how it's easy it is to deceive people. Like everything is deceptive nowadays. Everything. Like, and we're not even allowed to question that. It's just like this rise and whatever, like all these Satanists, and they're saying, well, we can do all this stuff and no one's allowed to tell us otherwise. Well, I mean, people are telling us otherwise. I mean, I'm just saying, look at the bad deal I'm getting. Nobody cares. Nobody cares I'm getting a bad deal. The only reason these people are being taken seriously is because they have a gang. Well, they have numbers. Maybe they have numbers. I don't know. There's a lot of Christians. Somehow they are winning. And I just wanted to remind people of that. You just have to be so careful. It's just like the people on my channel, who are atheists or whatever. Look, man, you know what? I don't think a lot of what I say is really as debatable as you might think it is, if that makes any sense. Okay, so with that said, let me go ahead and close.